Welcome, 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 everybody, to another Sunday of When Black Women Gather. My name is Helen Higginbotham. I am the founder of this organization that hosts intergenerational conversations between Black women on subjects and issues that are relevant to us. Today, we have the pleasure of hearing from Gabby Martinez, who I'm very happy to say is a fellow Howard alum. Thank you, Claudette, for introducing her to me. And she's going to talk to us about the work that she's been doing in her group called, I love even the title of what you're doing, Black Girl Tribe, because it's about us being magical and passing that magic on to the next generation. And she's made a whole business of it, and I'm loving it. So she started a nonprofit. So she's going to talk to us about how she went from corporate to the nonprofit. What was the dream? How did she get there? What were the obstacles? And then ultimately, she's going to talk to us about the conference. I'm going to ask that we support her through scholarships for a couple of the ladies to be able to attend, and she'll talk more about that at the end and how we can do that. And she also has two of her village folks. Is that, shall I say? Tribal. What do we
Mhm.
call them?
Tribe.
What do we call them?
They are their tribe.
The tribe. So she has two young ladies here with her today. So I'm actually going to just turn it over to her and let her do her thing. Thank you so much, Gabby, and we look forward to hearing from you and supporting you.
Thank you so much, Miss Helen. You are so amazing. Thank you, ladies who were here at the last meeting that I got to invade. That invited me to come back and for me to have this opportunity to share with you all, and also to share this space with my babies. So just shout out to them and thank them too for being their own spokeswomen and their own commercial and the best part of the program. So, like Miss Helen said, my name is Gabby Martinez, as my girls call me Miss Gabby. I am a Chocolate City child, born and raised in Washington, D.C. My mother is a bison. I am tied to this country in a multitude of ways. I am the daughter on one side of some of the first colony Africans brought into this colony, and also one of the first people born in America on my father's side. My father is from Venezuela, so shout out to you for being in South America, very close. Wish I could be anywhere near there, but as you know, with brown people and black people all over the world, where there's success, there's some kind of craziness, and so Venezuela has its own issues, but here in America, I have the pleasure of being the descendant of some of the first Negroes brought into this country via Nigeria. And that happened to be in some of the most amazing places in history throughout American history. I'm descendant of Matthew Henson, the first person to make it to the North Pole. I'm also descendant of Uncle Tom, or better known as Father Josiah Henson, who Harriet Beecher Stowe loosely based her most successful novel, that they say caused the Civil War to actually happen. But he also wrote his own story called A Truth Stranger Than Fiction that might be a little bit more interesting to folks to hear Uncle Tom's side of the story. But that just gives you a little bit of background about what kind of fuels me, and what has been the catalyst for who I am. I've been steeped in my family's history since I was born. My mother has never made it an option for me not to know who and whose I am. And so it's very important to me to extend that privilege to my girls, and also the empowerment that comes with it. Growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I'm just one of those, the cursed generation of the talented and gifted that were told we were amazing, and maybe we were just supposed to just be told we were doing a good job the way we were. But with that power, with that empowerment, and also, being at Howard, being steeped in history there as well, I learned that I had a responsibility to not just myself and my ancestors, but to Black people as a collective. And like my friends reminded me of this, but it's just something powerful to talk about manifestation. When I was in college, I said, I don't know what I want to do, but I'm gonna start something for us called the BBB, the Betterment of Black People's Bureau. So when these black people be out here tripping and saying crazy stuff, we can go fix it, i.e. Kanye West. Like we can go yank him up and like shake him and do what we need to do. But it's funny because later on now we have the Black Girl Tribe, which is dedicated to the betterment of Black girls. So clearly that word has always been something that has been with me. And just bettering Black people, knowing that that is something that is not an end result. It is something that is always perpetual, something we can always be good or getting better at, no matter who we are, even as Black people. And so leaving Howard, I was still clueless. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had some amazing friends. So that's the power of your village and your own personal tribe. One of my best friends had graduated the year before me and went to go work for the Obama Foundation and what was now the Obama Foundation, what was then the Obama campaign for 2012 reelection. Um, she said, come sign up and try to be a fellow. I was like, what's that? I did it. They loved me. I ended up being working right in the bowels, well, the basement of the DNC for the Obama 2012 reelection. We won, clearly. Shout out to us for that. But even there, within being in the DNC, I was led by a, a young Black man who I was actually excited to be led by, but saw me as a threat. I'm gonna just keep it a band. It's Black women on this call. We know how that is. And when he was given the opportunity to get a promotion to go be a state director somewhere else, where he would have to pick one of his fellows to take over his job, of course, everyone said I was the natural pick. And he told my colleagues that it was not Black women's time; it was a Black man's time. And so he would not leave until he felt like this office could be left in the hands of a Black man. Knowing that, I was like, okay, so Black men, okay, got it. Let me move, let me focus my mission. I was then recruited to work for Planned Parenthood Federation of America and the Planned Parenthood of Metropolitan Washington. Um, I'm gonna be 100% with you all. As a young Black girl at the time, I did not really understand all the politics around Planned Parenthood or its history or just the overall message, or not the message, but the underlining message of some of those movements. And I saw pink and I saw women, and I thought it was for me. In those spaces, grew and stretched in ways that I did not even know that I was supposed to. Um, Miss Headley, there's a BuzzFeed article you can Google about me and Planned Parenthood if you want to read the details. But however, my time there was turbulent. Because I was hired to be an activist. I was hired to be public affairs, and they did not like what I had to say. And so moving me into different departments, what they thought they were burying me, they were actually planting me. And so they moved me into the education department, which I was very resistant. I was like, I'm not a teacher. I did not go to school to be a teacher. I'm not doing this. Um, I started to work for the education department doing full comprehensive reproductive health education, specifically for Black and Brown girls and Latina girls in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And I did this through a curriculum called CLA. Sisters Informing, Healing, Living, and Empowering, which is a CDC EBI that was created in the 90s for Black girls, Black teenage girls in Mississippi, in Alabama, in the rural South who did not have access to reproductive health and education or services. And so what I did was I reinterpreted that curriculum and applied it to girls living in the city, girls here, and just like the overall core values and the empowerment pieces of CELA. And it really just worked really well. And I was the hit. Not on purpose. None of this was on purpose. While I was at Planned Parenthood, while they were eating eating off of me, getting grants. We're saving little Black girls. We're saving little Latinas. She even works with boys. Like I was running the affiliate Egypt program center that used to be on Minnesota Avenue and Benton Road. And then they told me they were going to build me a brand new program center. So they had to close it down for a little bit. Then my program center disappeared. And then they were like, oh, we're going to build a brand new office on the Northwest side. And we'll build you a beautiful classroom that ended up just being the conference room. So a lot of these things that they were building off the back of my programs and the things that I was doing in the community and getting these funds and this capital was not actually being extended to myself. I was being paid $27,000. I worked there for 7 years. And at the time when I was being, more vocal for myself, after so many times of going through the curriculum and teaching it, you can only get empowered yourself. You can only sit and listen and talk and hear the words come out of your mouth so many times before you start believing it in yourself. And so they did not like who I was becoming. They did not like how my activism showed up. They didn't like how, I called their bluff on a lot of the things that were not intersectional in the advocacy and things. I got to work for the Action Fund. So just trying to introduce them to Black women candidates and things like that I wanted them to support. And it was just falling on deaf ears. But when it came time for gala, when it came time for pictures and things like that, I was the prize Negro. And he spoke two languages. What? She can dance? Oh my God. And I was like, okay, you want me to shuck and jive? You need to pay me to do it because I'm aware now. The puppet is alive. I'm a real girl. And when they weren't trying to match that, you're not matching my money, you're not matching my soul. Like I literally was just so stuck. Also, because of the community that I was building with these girls, I was really nervous about any other job giving me that kind of opportunity. I never heard of any of the programs like us. I never heard of any organizations that took the time to just dedicate specifically to Black girls. Yes, there are youth centers, there are girls programs and things like that, but nobody was just letting me target Black girls in that way. And what I didn't understand then was that was an inauthentic way, and that was why I was not matching up with it. But my intentions were very good. And that is what I had to get over. And that's ego. Um, and so one day, a day very similar to a day like this, Kate Spade, I hate to say it, had killed herself. And she started for a suicide trigger. And I was in an office, Cube Nation, with a whole bunch of white women, and they were crying, 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 and just talking about the impact that this woman had on their lives and just how powerful she was and the work that she did, and just they couldn't believe it and all this stuff. And I was just sitting there and I was just shocked because we had just had a meeting where I was trying to put on this conference and they asked me, could they help? How could they help? I told them what I needed to do, and they literally looked at my face and said, no, I don't want to do that. Can I do something else? I'll figure something else out. Never mind. And this is after having stage 5 endometriosis. Sorry. I had tumors. I had tumors removed. I was having on baby chemo, all kinds of crazy things going on. And I was being accused of faking being sick, a reproductive health issue being, they were telling me I was faking having bad periods at Planned Parenthood. Make it make sense, right? So it's only so many times that you're going to tell me I need to get out of the bed and put on a pamper to come and protest at the Supreme Court. I'm what I'm protesting for. And the fact that they did not see that was an issue for me. Um, and I started to call the bluff. So on that day, I literally sat at my desk and I looked around and I was so stressed. I felt my heart rate just going up and hearing them cry about this woman. This is also around the same time that we're dealing with Relisha Rudd. People, she's gone missing, things like that. And I said, you know what? Clearly, people off themselves for less. It is fucking o'clock. I'm going home to take care of myself. Got up, walked out. When I came back that Monday, there was a write up for me saying that I was inappropriate in the office because I said fuck it o'clock. Not any mention of suicide ideation, not on any mental wellness check. Like clearly they could not find one to give, right? It was just more I had offended people because I said it was fucking o'clock. And at that time it really became fucking o'clock. Like it's time for me to say it's time to go. But honestly, in my spirit, I could not do it. I could not quit. I had all the black good terms in my head. Oh, it's a good job. You work for these people, and just even I hate to say it, the fundraising, the equity that I could get in like different spaces just by being affiliated with Planned Parenthood, it was sweet. And it got me into things that got me things for my girls, and that was the most important thing. But I had to question where was my soul in this, and so I literally came and I asked my ancestors. I said, "You have to move me." Y'all have to move me. Those were my exact words. Y'all have to get me out of here. If you gotta fire me, if you gotta burn a building down, whatever you have to do, move me because clearly I cannot move myself. Um, I successfully executed my last formation there, and it was so successful that I had fulfilled all of my grant duties by that date in June. So I didn't have to work or I didn't have any deliverables for the rest of the quarter, which meant so from June to October, I had nothing to do. So I asked my mom permission. I said, Mom, can I quit this job? And she said, absolutely not. She said, absolutely not. You cannot quit. She said, they will get all of your unemployment insurance money back. You will get that money when they fire you. And you will have severance and you will spend that time starting your own organization. Shout out to Black Mamas because she knew I didn't, right? I was just, on Indeed, started looking on LinkedIn, like, she was like, nope, nope, nope. That's what you're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. And I was like, okay, how do I get fired? Never been fired from a job in my life. That was gonna be fun. Y'all, we had a kitchen in the office. I started cooking dinners. I started coming in for lunch, frying food. I started selling plates. I was like, y'all not paying me enough. I need to do more. Like, y'all have to understand, like, it was so egregious at Planned Parenthood that instead of giving me a raise, my boss's boss offered me to come work in her house on the weekends, cleaning and cooking and helping take care of her kids for extra money.
Okay,
And
I
I
don't
got
like
written
to
up.
unmute, but stop lying. Okay, I
I'm
just
dead
had to say
ass.
that.
This is documented. This is documented.
Uh,
And the craziest part is the reason why it's documented because I
she
got
did
written
not
up because
consider it.
I
Stop
got
you.
written up because I asked her, did she want me to hum while I was there? So that's what I'm saying. People don't like when you pull a you on them or them on
Yeah.
you or them on them, right? Like they don't like that. So um had formation, started just doing what I wanted to do. And I just really just was ready. They finally came to me that good faithful day and said, hey, can you come in the conference room? I was already ready. I did the smart Black girl thing of sending all my stuff to myself for over a year and a half. Everything I had stopped working out of their email like 6 to 3 months beforehand. It was my coworkers knew what to do to erase everything out of my phone. They were not going to have my contacts. They were not going to have my community, and they were for damn sure not going to have my girls, right? To be able to change the narrative and say, oh, but please still come to this because the spaces that they were trying to make me create were just so inauthentic. And it was grants, right? Like, oh, you can get a raise. We'll pay you 35K now if you can get 100 girls to get an implant in their arm, in a year. Or if you can get, 500 Black and Latina girls to get IUDs. And it's like, why? Why is that the goal? Like, educate them about it, tell them their options, sure. But I'm an IUD baby. So sometimes they don't work and they're more dangerous than folks. And that's the real tea about it. But you don't want me to actually give people the actual tea. And that's the problem. And so when I got fired, the best part about it was they told me that my programs were insufficient and that all of the outcomes were immeasurable. The programs that I was setting up for Black girls had immeasurable outcomes because my girls were doing African dance, because my girls were doing financial literacy, because my girls were doing public speaking. Those outcomes were immeasurable for Planned Parenthood. A day later, I got fired on a Friday. On that Monday, I met with the lawyer from Cadwalader, Wickersham, and Taft. a connection, a friend of a friend who had been telling me for a while to start my own organization. Um, and I think just getting used to the poverty mindset that Planned Parenthood had put me in, saying that they could, I don't know if you got it, Miss Higgy, um, saying that it could be so hard, right, to fund my programs and all these things, but it clearly wasn't, right? They were getting the money and doing other things with it. They were not actually doing or enhancing my programs or getting me more staff. I was still one person doing all of these things. So that's why even now I'm used to working very hard or being a Jill of all trades, because that's what I had to be there, even with a whole pretty pink prison and people around me. Um, and the biggest lesson I learned at Planned Parenthood was that Black women live at an intersection that nobody else in the world lives at. Meaning that while white women can choose whiteness over womanhood and Black men can choose blackness over, men over blackness, there is nowhere for us to go that's safe. And specifically because of those things cannot be inextricably, taken apart, they put a target on our back. And then even when you add the intersection of youth, it's an even better target, right? And so I knew that I wanted Tribe to be dedicated to the betterment of Black girls, because that is where the issues and where a lot of our challenges start. To say that it's just about Black women, or to even use the moniker of Black girls and only address women's issues, only add to the issues of Black girls and the adultification of Black girls. You know what I'm saying? Because when you see Black women calling themselves Black girls and having organizations that are for Black girls, but they're grown, it's strange, right? Because then when we say, well, why don't you see this 12-year-old Black girl as a Black girl? Because you don't either. Y'all calling everybody grown, that's grown girls. And so that is so dangerous. And just even in the name, when I set it up during the Trump era, right? His first presidency is when I was fighting for my nonprofit status. I kept getting pushed back because they kept saying, well, they're not gonna like that. It's gonna look, like Black nationalism, all these things. And I'm like, why? Why is that an issue to have an organization that is dedicated to the betterment of Black girls when so many things are not? Right? There's so many things that Black girls and women have done for every other movement that we don't get any credit for, right? And it's not even just Black women, it's Black girls. When we're thinking about specifically Harriet Tubman, right? We're talking about a 16-year-old girl running in the woods. We're not talking about the old lady that we see in the rocking chair. You know what I'm saying? That was a young woman who was effective in her youth and did not wait until she was older or more wiser or whatever people think to be at what was her, most effective in that moment. We're talking about Dorothy Height, who was young in the movement, being inspired by Mary McLeod Bethune. We're talking about Claudine Culver, right? We're talking about women who were younger, darker, different than Rosa Parks. And even then, within misogynoir, within these movements, Black girls are being suppressed. And so that's why it's so important. And so formation is a space that is completely dedicated to Black girls. I was, like I said, with those talented, gifted youth that have the opportunity to attend conferences, youth empowerment conferences, leadership programs, and things like that. But I was one of, right? I was one of five, one of two, or the only in these spaces. And while the information was valid and I've clearly been able to apply it, it was not meant for me. And the delivery was not meant for me. And it was not put into examples or spaces that would make sense or be comprehensive for me. I had to fight for that comprehension. And so formation is really a space where I take the best of going to Dale Carnegie trainings and He O'Brien Youth Foundation trainings and things like that. And I add the magic of Essence Festival and the magic of sorority boulets and conferences and just the magic of when one or two Black women are gathered, right? The energy and the synergy, the things that can happen. It is me showing our girls that efficacy young, because imagine how powerful they could be if they knew the power of sisterhood as they come up, and it wasn't taught through trauma. It wasn't taught, by fire. And that's something that is so also important to me as I get older, is to make sure that that intergenerational conversation is always happening, because I realized that my space, my age from when I first started working with the girls to now is different. So that's where I have my tribe leaders who are built in to be those different levels of stages for intergenerational mentorship, up and down, right? I mentor them, they mentor the younger girls mentor the younger girls, and everybody gets up and down. And I have mentors, right? Because it's something that never stops. We can always be getting better. So I would love to share my screen and show you all just a quick video of the formation conference, just to give you a quick idea about what it's like and what the ladies experience and what we're asking you all to take part of and become a part of our village.
Did you share your sound, Gabby?
You say you can't hear the sound?
No.
No,
Go to
we can't hear the sound.
yeah, go to your more button. Let me see if I can do it for you. I don't think I can.
So
Go ahead and start your recording and go to your more button and you'll see a drop down and it'll say share sound. That's all. Go ahead
still
and start
sharing the
your
screen
video.
with you all?
Not now,
On,
you're not.
can I
You
just
stop.
say, mine does not show share sound under the drop down, but
Yeah.
if you unshare it and then just
See
unshare
exactly
it,
what you're
and then
saying.
when you go to reshare it, you will see a place there that says share sound.
Presenting the Formation Conference by the Black Girl Tribe.
Yes, we hear it.
Teach, reach, inspire, build, empower for the betterment of Black girls. Core values: education, sisterhood, service, team building, and leadership. We teach Black girls the value of self-love and worth so that we can live whole and healthy lives. We reach out to the greater village, creating solutions to issues that directly and uniquely affect us. We inspire our tribe to celebrate our magic of every day. We build sisterhood through mentorship and sustainable engagement with our tribe, fostering a network of empowered Black girls. We build a better world for Black girls to be their best. We empower Black girls at every intersection of their lives.
As a tribe, we must hold ourselves accountable for uplifting each other and to give the gift of knowledge and awareness and not to be careless. We are here to uplift, not promote anyone's character. Older sisters shall not criticize their sisters, rather give them constructive criticism. Younger sisters shall listen to their older sisters, for they have the wisdom and knowledge of what's to come. When you see a sister in a struggle, help her out, hold your arms around her, and don't murmur behind her back. We are one nation, one tribe, one community. We come as one. Thank you.
We lead empowered girls to become empowering women.
This is called Sun Sisters. They despise how you thrive. They hate to see our spark, avoiding and destroying as if they're afraid of the dark, attributing us to shadows, trying to keep us out of sight. But the sun resides in your skin. My sisters are people of light. I may not be as white as snow or pure as a dove, but I am beautifully burned like her and her and her, permanently branded by the sun's love. Thank you.
Join
Now I would love to
Beautiful.
invite my baby girls, or they're not babies, they're growing up, to just come on and give you all a firsthand experience of what it's like to be in the conference, a member, and just whatever you all want to share to share with these ladies, which are new aunties. Because ladies, that's what we call every Black woman that comes to the conference. Just another tidbit: every facilitator, every speaker, except for my self-defense class, which you see is a Black man, is a Black woman at the conference. All of my staff members, everyone. So, and we don't, we're all family. So they're Miss whoever, because we show deference and respect, but they're also our tribe aunties. That's what we refer to them. Also, welcome tribe aunties. That's who you all are now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dominique. I've been a part of Tribe since 2019. I am 19. I am now attending LSU, but formerly I did go to St. Charles High School in Waldorf, Maryland. Tribe has given me everything between like sisterhoods, new skills, like just love, a genuine bond between people that I never thought I would have had a connection with from the beginning. I did go to majority Black schools, but I didn't feel like I had a connection with them because they were Black. I just had a connection with them because they went to the same school as me. And now that I go to a PWI, it is something that I do cherish very much because we're not around us a lot of times, and it's okay, but it's not ideal. I love my sisters. I've had sisters. I've lost some sisters, unfortunately. Rest in peace to Naya. Um, it's just something that you can't imagine. And before, I was so shy. Like, the reason my mom made me do this, I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be around all these people. I was really shy. I didn't like talking to people. After that, I lit up. I loved every single body. There was no fights, no. I still talk to them to this day. They are sisters. They're nothing less. I love them. I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I've had to be able to be a part of this. I was once a member and I'm now a leader. I cherish that very much. And I just want to thank Ms. Gabby, and I thank all of you for being able to have this conversation. And it's very important that it's seen, that we're seen. And thank you very much.
My name is Ajay. I'm from Rochester, New York, and I'm 14. I'm a freshman in high school. And Tribe for me, it was really a connection for Black girls because I live in New York and it's mainly in the DMV area. So it gave me a connection to all the Black girls around the world. And Tribe for me, it allowed me to be in a space full of Black girls because I came from a homeschool background. So it allowed me to be in a space, first time space, be in a group full of Black girls. And it was really nice for me. It allowed for me to experience different personalities and characteristics of different people. And it was a learning and a growing curve because we learned about different things, and it was a really good experience.
Hi, my name is Morgan. I'm 19. I currently go to the University of Maryland. I started out as a participant and now I'm one of the leaders of Tribe. And I think that it has been such an impact in my life because even though I've been to schools that are predominantly Black, I was never seen as the right Black girl. Like, I wasn't very loud. I was usually quiet and kept to myself. But when I got into that Tribe space, it was so surreal because everybody just loved you for being you, no matter what you did or who you were. It was so supportive that Miss Gabby actually, one of her competitions, helped me and my best friend start our business. And I just want to thank her for that because that I had been stuck on that for so long and it was so amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I cannot stand them.
Mommy is emotional, we see. Did I miss anybody else? I'm sorry, Morgan, I didn't realize you were here. Did I miss anybody else from the tribe? No? Okay. That is phenomenal. And the way I see the overlap of what you do and what we do, my whole thing is for us to have intergenerational when I started, it's like we don't have enough intergenerational conversations. We're not passing on wisdom, traditions, and things that just came naturally because we don't commune as a family like we as we used to. And I didn't realize we're not even having family reunions, I'm hearing, as much as we used to. So we are really getting away from who we are. So when Black women gather is about doing just that, bringing Black women together. And when we're able to bring young women into the circle, it's just beautiful. And everything that you ladies express is what I hope that women get when they come to this circle. So that's just beautiful. You're doing great work, Gabby. So talk to us a little bit
Them.
specifically. Ladies, can you talk to us about your actual experiences during formation? Because I know you have formation, but what other kinds of gathering things do you do during the year? And what is so special about formation, if you don't mind?
Do the first question and then I'll let them do the formation question. So we I'm gonna be honest with you all, funding has not been fun. So our programming of like everyday one-off programming is very small scale because it's just me. I'm in the DMV, but I try to get out and travel as much as we can. We did take our girls, or about 35 of our girls, to New York City for the weekend. The girls came from all over the country, from Atlanta, and met me in DC at Union Station and rode the bus with me to New York. We had a great time. We went to go see Ailey. We went to the Whitney Museum. We went shopping. We hung out. We just had a great experience with the girls, just expanding their world. And that is what we are trying to do. Formation is just kind of like our base for all of our girls so that they kind of get to know each other. And then based on like the different opportunities in different areas, they get to pop up to those programs. But specifically formation, I'll let the girls say it because I've never been a participant in formation. I wish I could be.
For me personally, because I did join in 2019, right before COVID, the COVID year, it was a very big thing of still being able to communicate with my sisters. We talked every single day throughout COVID, every single day. I knew every update with all of them every day, and I love that. Especially since being quarantined is so like isolating, and you never know like who you can really connect with, and that gave me a safe space, especially since they were all older than me. At the time I was 14 or 15, they were all 18, 19. I had my big sisters at all times, and I do have an older sister, but at the time she was in college away, so it was great being able to text them. The activities we did, we went to the Black History Museum, we did self-defense, we learned how to sew, we did everything. Like I learned half of the skills that I'm able to do now there. A lot of the girls do a lot of outside activities like braids. So you ever need your hair done, they got you. You ever need your lashes, nails done, anything, they got you. I know who I'm texting at all times, no matter how late it is, they got me. And I just love that. And yeah, it was just a really good experience, especially since after quarantine, it was a lot of everywhere, and being able to come back after that. I had one remaining year being a member, and then next year I was a tribe leader in training, and this year I'm an actual tribe leader. It's an amazing experience. I used to be the same with Ajay, and now I'm her older sister, but like in my head there's no difference between us. They're still my sister. We're on the same level, and that's what I love about it. Like, yes, I am the leader, but at the end of the day, we're still sisters.
Yeah, Ajay, talk a little bit about, you said you were homeschooled. So for you to, what did that mean? What did that feel like? Did you
Um,
feel more complete once you had these women, these young ladies, and to share your life?
yeah, they introduced me to different topics and I got introduced to different girls and it gave me sort of like a network. So even though I was homeschooled, I still had this network of Black girls who I could talk to about anything. I had big sisters who I could reach out to about anything. But something powerful about Tribe for me is that there's 4 groups. There's Nia, Ujama, Kumba, and Ujima. And although we're separated in different groups, we all come together at the end of the day. So it's 4 but 1. So that just like distinguishes the fact that even though we may be different, we're all the same at the end of the day. And we have to come back for one mission.
And Morgan, you said you started a business as a result of being in Tribe. What is your business and how did Tribe give you the motivation that you needed to do that? And how can we support your business? What is your business?
I run a literary magazine at the moment. It's not currently updated, but because I just transferred it to college and I wanted to get that out of the way. But um, there are like not competitions, but well, there are competitions where the girls will do subjects like debate. There's a Shark Tank, and there's also a STEM fair. And I entered the Shark Tank, and I was very nervous, and I had never done anything like that in my life because I didn't think I was worthy of whatever prize it was coming my way. Um, but when me and my best friend, um, when I pulled her into Tribe, she told me that I had to do it. And when I presented my thing, I didn't really have too much of a business plan, but I remember someone saying, "I see how passionate you are about it, and that's why they were so interested in my idea." Um, my magazine is called Melanocyte, and I really want to talk to it's for the younger generation. I don't really understand how, like, I don't watch the news because it's so sad in my eyes, but I always want the people from high school and college to get the news, but also be empowered by all the information that they're getting. We have talked to like young artists who create their own songs, Black owned businesses, tips on hair, and I just wanted it to be something for everybody.
Beautiful. And Gabby's showing it off for you as you speak. So that's
So
great.
the Shark Tank program, Morgan and Ajay actually won the first ones, which is so funny to just show that I didn't even realize that. So we have some amazing Black women on our board who are also entrepreneurs. One being Dr. Nikki Brooks, who owns Zen in a Jar, which is a fragrance, bodies, oil, room, everything kind of amazing, smelling and good for your body business. She actually has a storefront here in Forestville where she sells Tribe merch for 100% benefit of our conference and the girls. But when I told her I wanted to have the pitched competition, she said, okay, cool. You know, it was going to be just for points, but she and the other women who she brought as uh judges actually put together a pot. So Morgan got to go away with capital to then be able to start Melanocyte. And since then, this year will be our third year of Shark Tank, which we're really excited about because the girls have just been coming better and better. Last year, our winner came with SWOT analysis for her project. And Dee Dee, she was in your tribe, right? She actually came with samples. She's a crocheter, so she makes little teddy bears. I have one, but my daughter stole it. Uh, little teddy bears and things and scrunchies. And she actually made the t-shirts for the conference. That was her business. I used her business to make the t-shirts for the conference. So it was just a really cool turnaround. And then the also awesome thing, tradition that we started with Morgan and with our other winners is that they are able to vend whatever their business is at graduation on that Sunday for the conference for the parents to also support and for people to know because we have girls coming this year from 18 different states and 80 different individual cities. And so that is a powerful commercial. It's a powerful spread to be able to, you know, to expose yourself to. And absolutely, do I need volunteers? So this is how you all can help. I'm going to be honest with you all. My baby girls don't know this yet. Well, my tribe leaders do, but Ajay does not know this yet. I'm actually in the process of moving the conference for this year. The reason why I actually got connected to Miss Helen was because Howard was Howarding real bad. The girls can tell you for the last few years, we've had some issues with our experience at the conference. Last year, they completely turned the lights off on us. So that part of the video where you saw the girls with their flashlights, that was not on purpose. That was a mistake. That was just Black girls being beautiful and resilient and making lemons out of, lemonade out of lemons. I needed a margarita though. But to take a stand, ladies, this year, and Howard was trying to charge me $97,000 just for the dorm. That is not food. That is not sheets and blankets. That is not anything besides just the keys to the doors, which is ridiculous. And specifically with all the issues that we've had with them calling police on our girls while we're on campus, just a lot of wild things. I sent an open letter to the president, the board of trustees, and pretty much everybody's email. It was about 200 people CC'd on the email. And they gave me their ass to kiss. Pretty much told me, look, this is Howard. Like, you want to stay here or not? So I said, not. We are going to be moving tentatively to Trinity Washington University, right across the reservoir, because no monkey stop, no show. And I'm also excited because that means I get to expand as well. Trinity is the service so far has just been completely different. They're working with us. They know that I have a small crunch line for my fundraising goal. I'm still about $35,000 short of what we need to make formation happen. I need you all to understand I do not get paid for formation. I'm not saying that as a flex. I'm saying that that is just literally what it costs to put this on. Our girls do raise money to come to the conference, but I do also provide scholarships for our girls who cannot, afford it, because Black girls don't need more barriers. And that is something that is central and key in the application. It says that please do not be put off by fees or any costs. If you don't have clothes to come, I will clothe you. We have gone as far, like Dee Dee is saying, we braid girls' hair during the conference, or I will get it braided beforehand because we want them to show up and feel comfortable and be in their best space. How you all can help, of course, is capital. We need funds. I know a lot of times people want to just say, "Oh, how can you help?" You can do it. No, baby, we need money. Black girls need money. I'm gonna be honest. And I try to educate my girls on the landscape of philanthropy as I've been building this organization with them. All of them are included on the planning. They know about everything. Even when I started the organization, they were right there with me. And so we understand that Black women led nonprofits get 1% of funding globally. Globally, the whole world, right? And Black girl serving organizations led by Black women get even less. It's not even it's like a 0.000 something number that's not even worth me putting on the PowerPoint, right? We just don't get that much funding. And it is because even now in this situation, people have, issues with aligning with us right now because they don't want to be flagged for doing DEI work. They don't want to be flagged for being too inclusive or equitable. For example, MasterCard is a donor to the conference and they give us $2,500. That is MasterCard Corporate. We've had the VP of MasterCard at our conference. Ladies, has MasterCard been at our conference every year? And they come and teach the same boring financial literacy. So this year I put them on notice. And I told them that they could not teach because my girls said they don't like the program and they're not learning anything and they're bored. I gave them those notes. They said okay, and they came back with a $2,500 donation and so, that's just what, I'm used to it. I think it's frustrating for other folks because people get excited about us and they're like, it's a no-brainer. Why is this so hard? I don't know. Why has history been so hard for Black girls, right? Like, it's a no-brainer. Black girls been saving the world forever, and people have never liked us. Specifically, so we were a part of a grant called $1 billion for Black girls, where a whole bunch of billion-dollar corporations put their money together. And they were like, we're going to get some Black girls. And then Kamala Harris looked like she was about to win the election. So 2 weeks before the election, we were defunded. Not just us, but pretty much every Black girl outwardly serving nonprofit in the country that was a beneficiary of that grant. So that was a $100,000 grant that we depended on. I have gone back into the school system to teach. Because at the end of the day, like I said, every dollar, all the money that we do, we try to put towards the girls and to make sure that the conference happens. And this is not just at formation, this is year round. I have kids in college, like Dee Dee is in college. I'm going there. I am buying groceries. I am sending funds. I'm sending breakfast money. I'm sending coffee money. And I don't mind because that's what it's for. It's their money. I think other nonprofits don't see it as that. I do. I have girls who are going on international trips for school who need money and things like that. So I want to also be a support for them in that way, not just with my nonprofit, which I think a lot of times people get caught up in the cost of the cause and not the cause over the cost, right? And combined federal campaign, I'm gonna stay away from federal dollars. Just
What is
as
it?
just as a principle, I've never trusted white people money. I hate to say that. I learned that at Planned Parenthood. You cannot do anything with white tears. You cannot drink them. You can't cook with them. You cannot lotion your skin. So I don't want to depend on federal funding to build an organization that I want to sustain for the rest of even beyond me, based on who is in office. So we have built a model that is just dedicated on what we call as the village model, right? We are looking for people to be a part of our village, and that is corporations and companies. We've been sponsored by Nike. We've been supported by Puma. There are people who have given us things, right? But we're talking about money to pay Black women to be Black girl magicians so that I can put programs on across the country. Right. So it's not just me and when I can get my college students on break and wrangled all together to be able to be effective. Right. It is me. The money that I raise goes to pay my tribe leaders. They give a whole week out of their summer where they could be interning, working, sleeping to come. And so all the money that I raise goes and is split amongst them. The parents also raise an additional sum to go to the tribe leader of the year as an additional scholarship as well. I'm just trying to answer the questions.
Yeah. So typically how many girls are going through formation on a given
So
summer? And have you done
so
it every summer since 2018?
I've been doing this conference actually since 2014. It was called the Formation Conference, started in 2016, and we've only skipped the summer during the pandemic, which was 20 and 21. But we came this close to almost having 20. It was crazy. We didn't know, remember, because that was early in the year. We had applications out, people were coming. And then, the pandemic. But we expect this year about 120 girls. There's always at least 100. My baby girls, I just asked them literally right before this. I said, "What would 150 look like?" And everybody was like, "No, no, Miss Gabby." They were like, 150 is pushing it. I said, okay. I relax. But at one point my goal for formation in the Black Girl Tribe, we have a myriad of programs that we need funding to do. However, my goal for formation, which seems to be the thing that is easiest for people to latch onto and support, is to do regional conferences. So Formation North, Formation South, Formation East, Formation West, Midwest, all these different areas, and then letting our national convening in DC be a conference where like it is now, where we're bringing girls from all over the country. Because some girls don't have the summer, but might have a weekend, in their town where they can come. We have parents who have driven their girls up to this conference from Miami, in a pickup truck with 7 people, and it was crazy when they pulled up, right? I was like, wow. We've had parents bring their kids from Rochester, New York, right? Somewhere I never even thought about. We have parents coming from Boston, Connecticut, New Jersey, North Carolina. We've had a girl come from Portland, Oregon. Just because people have, okay, love you, Dee. Be safe. Let me know, text me when you get there.
Thank you so much for coming, and look forward to meeting you in person.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Take care, safe travels.
And so just having the opportunity to have all the girls together, like specifically Dee Dee, she's in Louisiana, but she has other tribe sisters that are also in Louisiana with her. You know what I'm saying? We have girls that go to Temple together and at Drexel. We in girls at Howard, girls at Spelman and Clark together. And so formation is just like I said, just the catalyst, just the base for what is a bigger and what I hope will be, a lasting sisterhood for them. It's been lasting so far, so I'm excited about that.
It feels
But
almost like
it's
a sorority. And
and I'm an AKA, shout out to all my sorors. However, there are elements of sororityhood and just like other groups and things that just have the exclusivity or financial piece that leave some Black women and girls out of that conversation. Like, I was not a Jack and Jill kid, right? But I've been playing golf since I was 6 years old, which surprises a lot of my counterparts because my mother was a mother that was like, there's a free program, you're going, right? However, that does not, you know what I mean? So I like those things, but I try to pull out all the best elements without the exclusivity, the judgmentalness that some people feel, the traumas that some people get. Rest in peace, Caleb. All of those things, like everything that is great about a sorority and what I think my founders wanted, without the harshness of it, without the ego, if that makes any sense. My girls
so
really love to see their little sisters.
let me stop for a second and ask if anyone has questions, you all please just speak up. It's a small group, so we can go ahead and speak.
Yes.
So you were saying that you average at least 100 girls per summer, which is very impressive. The age range for these girls is what?
They're 12 to 18.
12
And
to
then my
18
college
years
girls,
old.
so yep, so they're middle school to high school, and then that's summer. Sorry, that summer between high school and college, they have the opportunity to become what we call a tribe leader in training. And then after that, they can come back to be a tribe leader. Which are not, I hate to call them summer counselors or whatever, because they do so much more. They're trained in youth mental health first aid, they're trained in conflict resolution, communication styles, youth engagement, adultism, all those things, so that they are transitioning well from the space of being a participant to now understanding what it means to be support and to be staff, and what it means to take care of girls that are just like them while also taking care of themselves.
Sounds beautiful. And it's interesting, I think it was Dominique who was saying during the pandemic, because that's how this thing got started online. It was the same thing. We were just kind of like looking for salvation and sanctity somewhere, and we found it amongst ourselves as Black women. It sounds like that's what your young ladies did. So that's powerful. I mean, it's all about
Absolutely.
sisterhood.
During the pandemic, we did host a different series on live. So just like free yoga classes for the girls, ways for them to stretch, learn their body, journaling classes. And then we started something actually during that time that we keep going now. And I saw somebody ask when I meet with the girls, I actually meet with them once a week, virtually, leading up into the conference in 3 different groups. So I meet on Monday, Wednesdays, and Sundays with them. But we started something called the Set, where we just let them pick the topic, or we would pick a topic and bring in other Black women or experts to talk and just like have a just very similar, like you said, a conversation with them. And so now we've expanded it to the Black Girl Dad, especially for Black girl dads, because listening to my girls and just the conversations that they're having and the gripes that they have a lot of times with parenting is issues with dads, and their dads not necessarily having the correct language or understanding to talk to them, dads projecting their traumas on them as daughters and things like that. So it's a space for the dads to just come together, talk about what it means uniquely to to be the father of a daughter of a Black girl, right? That's unique. Talking about sexualism, I try to correct a lot of misogyny issues that they had, and just like bring a new perspective to them about what it means to be, a father of a Black girl and also an advocate for Black girls, a champion for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do I have any questions from anybody in the audience? I saw someone had asked about not having money but wanting to donate services. That's another way for sure that we can support Black Girl Tribe. And I was very surprised when you and I were speaking recently, Gabby, and you said that it's kind of hard to even get Black women to show up for these kinds of events, and that shocked me. So talk about the challenge of that.
And I had to look at the quality, not the quantity, right? Um, a lot of times when it comes to spaces for Black girls, people are conditioned to just like be very well meaning and not very intentional, if that makes sense. And that's even us as Black women coming into spaces sometimes where we think our presence is the present, which it absolutely is. But these are also kids and youth and other people, right? And other people's kids. So a lot of times our volunteer process will throw people off because we ask for ground check information. We ask that you come at a set schedule where people kind of expect to be able to just like pull up on us and give a speech, you know what I mean? And a lot of times I'm also
Magical.
trying to uh not protect, but trying to make sure that my girls are not just being talked at, if that makes sense. And so when a lot of times when we're asking women to come and serve and volunteer, the job is too small for them, so they don't want to do it. If they're not coming as a presenter, a speaker, we just need people to come and serve sandwiches and make plates and be an auntie and be like, hey, you need to come sit with me for a second. You need a quiet moment. We need that kind of support because honestly, my tribe leaders, they rock. They're amazing. They got the girls, right? We have amazing presentations already sent in via RFP by a bunch of Black women. So we're set with that. What we need help with is literally, I hate to be funny, but boots on the ground. We're gonna have a line dancing class too, so it's not like you're not gonna have fun. Like you're gonna have a good time. However, we just need women to be in the space, and sometimes being in the space is enough. And just showing up when you say you're going to show up, right? Because we count on those things and we count on those people. Tribe is 100% volunteer run, and so it's important that our volunteers know that what they're coming to contribute, even though they feel like it's small, is so important. So when they don't show up, it's an even bigger impact.
Right. Yeah.
And if
So
anyone
obviously
is
volunteering.
Yeah, I was say if anyone is interested in volunteering, you can send me an email. I'm gonna drop my email right now in the chat. And just reference
I
this
have
group so
dropped
I know who you are.
I've dropped a link too that I had Gabby develop specifically for us to see, for us for when Black women gather, that we can make donations and she can see that they're coming specifically from us. And I want to remind us of the thing that we should have all learned and hopefully still remember from Barack Obama, that every little bit helps, right? So if you've got $10, $20, $50, 10 minutes, 50 minutes, it all helps. So I'll be circulating this out and asking people to just donate anything. What's the average cost to sponsor a scholarship for one student, one young lady to attend?
$100.
Didn't hear you.
$600, and that covers room, board, TVs. I mean, I'm not TV, t-shirts, all the activities, everything for the 7
$600.
days.
$600 per attendee. So
Yes,
I'm sure
ma'am.
when Black women gather, we should be able to pull our sources together and fund at least, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 of them. Let's see what we can do for Black Girl Tribes. They're so important, the work that they're doing. So, and I'm just so impressed with you young ladies and your confidence. And do you do Black college tours with the young ladies?
No, I want to, again, money. We try not to do programs that cost our girls too much. So, like, even with the $600 right now, all of our girls have been accepted since February, March, like early February, early March at the latest. And so we have been running Give Butter. I'm sorry, not Give Butter. Double Good fundraisers. We give them letters to send to different organizations in their local areas. We're even collecting sneakers. Like we're doing everything that we can so that even if the girls don't have, the resources to even fundraise. If their double good doesn't do well, we work with the sister mind. So all of the girls know that any overages go to the girls who maybe did not have that successful of a shop. And a lot of our parents know that, and they know that that's what it's going for. So they even go even harder and raising extra money, knowing that it will support another girl as well. And we try to help our girls with travel fees if we can. It just really just depends on where we are in fundraising right now, because we are below. I've had about 2 or 3 parents call me and say like, hey, I sent you enough money for my kid and another kid. So what I've been doing is breaking up those monies and giving it to girls in pieces, just so that everybody, is getting there little by little, a little bit better, instead of just giving it just to one girl. Just hopefully that, that $100 or $200 going spreading around helps as well and encourages people to just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So volunteers, do they need to be in the DMV area, or can people support you through Zoom activities online type?
Absolutely. You can definitely just whatever you have an idea for, we're always open. And our dates are June 22nd through the 29th. We should probably have some volunteer opportunities even before those dates if you're not going to be around then, just for like setting up bags and things like that. But all that just depends on like our product sponsors. So far we don't have anything, so I don't need any gift bags set up yet. But hopefully all those things will be coming because I'm God's favorite, so he gonna pull it out.
You said June 22 through June 29 is
Yes,
formation.
ma'am.
Yeah. Um, Again, I'm just super impressed by what you're doing, and I thank you very much for giving of yourself. And you and I have to have an offline conversation about TPMW. I got
Didn't know
stories
you
too,
was.
girl.
Oh Lord. Lord.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
I
I
got
didn't
we.
know.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I didn't know. I think Claudette had. Claudette, are you still with us? Thank you so much for. Is she still here? Is she still? Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, I'm here,
CJ.
Helen. Sorry, I couldn't get off mute.
Thank you so much for bringing Gabby and the tribe to us. It's beautiful. Did you want to share anything while I have you on spotlight?
No, I'm good. I'm just hoping that we can help do that intergenerational thing, pretend like we're dealing with Kamala and that $1 million, if we can get it out there to our network, get these young ladies funded. It's a well
Yeah.
worthwhile program.
And once I send the link out, ladies, which I will share with, it's in the link. It's in the. I'll Gabby, drop it again for people. The When Black Women Gather link. If you all can just share this with your immediate circle, just ask people to drop $10, $20. It'll go a long way. It'll go a long way for these young ladies, and she's doing such phenomenal work. So I want us to really support it. Anybody want to talk to the young ladies before we let them go? Have any questions? Um, I don't want to call people out. I can't believe people are so quiet, but anyway, it is what it is. Any questions from anybody for Gabby or the two young ladies? Jocelyn, you're a school teacher. You must have something you want to ask the young ladies. No? Kia? I'm calling folks out. Camille, I saw Camille put something in the line. Camille, what did you offer? What did you? I forgot. It was a while ago in the chats. Something about two. Camille, help me. Chaperones. I
I
don't know
was,
what she
I'm
asked
having,
for. Camille, are you still there?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Oh, yeah, I was
Yeah.
having trouble muting. What did I put in the chat? I had asked if she needed volunteers. I asked that at the point where Gabby talked about taking the girls to New York
For
and,
future purposes, yeah.
right, volunteers for future trips. So that's
Really?
one thing that I had asked. And then I had asked about the combined federal campaign, because as a federal retiree, they have that system set up for us to do like payroll deduction, and we can select an organization. And right now, I'm giving a modest amount per month to WPFW, but I could certainly redirect that. But that's why I had asked that question.
appreciate that. I know that we are registered with GuideStar and other employee giving. I don't know if we are a federally. I know we have our federal everything like tax ID, everything in there. I don't know if there's a certain thing that I have to do to qualify to be in that giving pool. But if there is, let me know. I just know that we don't apply to federal grants just
Yeah,
because.
this would not be a grant. This is just
Okay.
something, it's something that it's basically a system where once a year, federal employees are approached to say, hey, do you want to do the donation program this year? And if you do, here's a big long list of organizations to choose from, and all the big, but YMCA, large organizations, small organizations, and they all get a little number that you basically plug into a form and choose how much money you want them to get out of every paycheck. So there's another system that's like it outside the federal employee system, and I can't think of what. American Way. Maybe it's
Mhm.
if you're familiar with the American Way, it might be.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not federal dollars, it's pay donations from the pay of federal employees. Although right now with Elon's fingers and everything, who knows? Who knows who's got their money on my paycheck right now? But this is absolutely inspirational, and I definitely would love to help be involved in one way or another. I'm right up the road from you, right on the Amtrak train line. I can be down in DC to be boots on the ground for you to support you that way quite easily. And I'm also very willing to be a traveling chaperone if you're going to take future trips.
Absolutely. My goal is to take my girls to Ghana next summer. I want to take them to Ghana. My parents already said yes. We just have to, I want to be able to get a big chunk of the trip taken care of so that my volunteers and chaperones that are coming are not burdened by the price to come and work, right? So that is something that I'm working on. And I write all my grants. I'm pretty successful. I write about maybe 2 to 3 grants a week, small, big, whatever. I will do everything. I eat them up. And so I've already Googled the CFC charity list, and I will make sure that we are on it within the next few days.
Very
That's
good.
fantastic. And good on Ghana. I've been there. I've made 3 trips to Africa since retirement, and yeah, that's a great thing to do. And shoot, I could even look at being an extra chaperone on that trip too. So
Absolutely. Thank you. No, I went ahead last year hoping that we would be able to go this year. But with the election going the way it went, we just
yeah, we're all feeling it.
we just wanted to wait and stay home for a little bit just to see what happens.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
other thing I was thinking too with when Black women gather too, I mean, I love that you're not shying away from the name. Because you were talking about something like, we need to step up and say, yes, we're a Black organization, and that's who we're looking to serve. When we dance around who we are, it gives other people permission not to fully recognize who we are,
Mhm.
and to give us a lot of lip service. So if this is who you are. So it'll be interesting to see with, this trying to reverse that we ever existed. So not to call ourselves Black, will it affect your uh, donations?
That is something
And
that
that's
we've
why I think
been.
as Black folks, we got to step up. We can't, like you said, with not to be dependent on these government entities. Like we're Black people and we can support this. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to
And
have
the
to happen.
other part that I would love to invite you ladies, if you're in the area, thank you so much for supporting us and giving us this space, giving my babies some time to talk, and just hearing their experience because they are the reason, the season, the whole point. But we have the privilege of having the Blacksonian to ourselves on Monday, June 23rd. So if you all are in town and would like to come with us as our guests, we wear all black because we black out the Black Museum. So please let Miss Helen know because I'll make it exclusively like through the women in this group, not just strangers. Let Miss Helen know and she'll send send me, you know, your information and we'll get you on our list to join us that evening. Because we even if you don't donate $10, if you just think good things about us and pray for us and send us good energy to whoever you pray and talk to, that is it. If you share my website, if you share the Instagram or YouTube video with somebody, with another Black girl, with a parent of a Black girl, with somebody that know a Black girl, that is impactful because that is how this grows and this spreads. I don't pay for ads. I post a flyer one time and the village does its thing and spreads it out, and the girls who are meant to be there always get there. So I got to make sure that this space is there for them to get to.
All righty. On that note, young ladies, do you have any parting words that you want to share with us before I let you get back to your lovely Sunday? Morgan. Morgan, you said you're in college now. Where are you? Did you say where you're attending?
I'm going to University of Maryland currently, yes.
And what's your major?
It's currently journalism. I'm thinking about switching to the business school. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there because that business school is really hard, but it's either business school or double majoring in journalism and communication.
Well, I just want to thank the girls for showing up. It was really a pleasure to listen to you guys tell us about your lives, and I really appreciate that and hope to meet you in the future.
Absolutely. She's serious. That's why I put in the Gabby, make sure you follow up with Camille.
Helen,
She's nearby.
just one comment to Morgan. Just because your major is journalism doesn't mean that you can't take classes in the School of Business without transferring. So if you look and you can take them if you feel that they're challenging, either do them pass, fail, or audit. You still get credit. And you don't have to switch anything. So if that's what you're interested in, go check it out.
Good point. Good point.
Thank you. I've been praying about it because I truly don't know what my next steps are. I know what I want to do. I just don't really know what the best path is to get there. But
Well,
I
you
will
got
keep
your
that in mind.
magazine. Your
So
magazine is your journalist.
can you put the link for the magazine in the chat so we can share that for you?
Yes.
And then creating it into a business, you're combining the two things that you love.
Yeah, Morgan, there might not be a path to get there. You might be the trailblazer.
Yeah.
My job is done. I don't have to do nothing. I can sit here and be quiet. I love this.
What's your plan? What year are you in high school?
9th grade. I'm a freshman.
You're a freshman. So, and
Yes.
are you still homeschooled? You're still
No,
homeschooled?
I went in
you're
person
going.
this year. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what do you see yourself 4 years from now? You're looking at college, thinking about, I'm sure you are.
I wanted to go to like a college locally. I want to be a pediatric surgeon, so hopefully I can get my undergraduate and then go to medical school. That's the goal right now.
You live in Rochester.
Yes.
What was the hardest part of transitioning from homeschool to schooling, you know, in regular school?
It was really like a social divide because usually I spent most of my time like self-studying or in solitude, but now in person it's kind of different because you have like peers around you and you have like homeschooling, like you have structure, but it's mostly on your time. But now in school, it's a certain schedule you have to follow and different activities that you have to do. So it was just really like a different social divide, and I just had to get used to going in person because it was a different structure.
Okay, thanks.
Who did your homeschooling? Your mom?
For kindergarten, elementary, my mom did it, but for middle school, I went to this private school. It was a Zoom course. It was called Freedom Home Academy. It was located in Chicago.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah. Miss Gabby, you got any final thoughts or words you want to share with us?
Helen, before that, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Of the young ladies who are members of the tribe, can you tell us, your aunties, future aunties here, what you would like from us to assist and facilitate this process.
Question.
And anything's on the table. We'll work to try to help deliver, but put it out there. The universe may respond.
What's your wish list, ladies? Put them on the spot.
And I'm asking this because I'm like you ladies. I don't have a problem asking for other people, but for myself, I have a real big problem asking. So we got to learn how to trust and ask so we can receive.
You cannot be a what? A silent sufferer. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a really, really tough question for Black women and Black girls.
I want to tell you all, this is not even just funny because in my pre-con group, which I have to run to in a second with the girls, the first question I ask them is to make a commercial for themselves and their standards of care and what they need and what they want and how they want to be spoken to. And it is the hardest thing in the world to get these girls to do. And it's such a testament to the fact that, again, like you're saying, like it's a hard question for Black women. And I have to always like think about the fact that the Black women who do tell us what they need and what they want, we judge them a lot of times, right? We look at them for, oh, they're doing too loud or they're too cocky or they're too this, but we need to model that. We need to be able to feel safe enough to say that because both of these girls have dreams. Both of these girls have huge ambitions and have needs. So the silence is deafening.
The silence is deafening because we are trained to this. This is what it's been handed down generation after generation. I'm 64 years old and I'm still trying to figure out how not to do it. But I bet you good money that if we ask the ladies to, instead of what do you need for yourself, what do you think you would give your best friend if you had all the resources? Then they could tell you, because we're programmed to put everybody else first and to not think of ourselves, So maybe the question is, what do you see your sisters in the tribe? You think about your sisters in the tribe, what do you think they need?
I know we've had a few events other than formation, like going to watch a free movie at the Black History Museum. And we also had I think there was some book signing or a book reading that I wasn't able to go to, but I wish we had the ability to meet more throughout the years before the summertime, before formation. So
listening to the question.
Say again.
You are not listening to the question.
What
do you need?
I was getting there.
No,
I need more support.
No. I know, but you answer first. Say that you need support. How? How can we support you? How can we show up? You need people to come and go to dinner with you sometimes, to give you some support and give you some life lessons. What you need? You have an opportunity for Black women to come in here and they're asking you. Take the opportunity. Don't waste it.
I wish I had a consistent group of people to just talk to without being judged. Whether it was just sitting in a Panera doing our homework or reading a book or watching a movie that was consistent.
We got your back.
That is so important for Black girls to have a friend group, a really dependable group. That group of friends that you can sit down at the table in Panera and go, how's it going? And the other one goes, girl, and you know exactly what she's saying. And she doesn't have to explain herself to you, and you just know. That is so important for us to have.
And also, I think it's important for us ladies on this call to take young people, young girls today, we're talking about, under our wings and expose them to stuff. What I heard Morgan say is she enjoyed, you're going to New York to see a play. Like, why aren't we taking young ladies with us? Um,
With,
it's all about it's all about exposure. So sometimes it's as simple as bringing them to your home, right? So that they can see. I don't know, everybody doesn't live large, but if you live large, let Black kids see, like, this is not just something that white folks do on TV. So just little things. I think sometimes we overthink how we can show up for our young people. And I think they're looking for guidance from us. So, you know, um, big sisters, but more than a big sister. Like, it's exposing them to things that we just take for granted. I mean, especially with inner city. I mean, anybody who knows, I know inner city people, like Philly people who've never been to Jersey, it's just across the bridge. DC people who've never been to Alexandria, it's just across the bridge. So we think too large. So make sure we start exposing our young people to things. Is that what I hear you saying, Miss Morgan? Or am I embellishing it?
So Helen,
Well,
this is
that's
I
Terry.
challenging.
I
also,
just wanted
I was
Mhm.
gonna
I
say
just
I'm
wanted to
also
share that I put my contact information in the chat for Morgan. With my business, we do a lot of writing. I have all kinds of skilled writers that would love to work with you. And I also have a contract at University of Maryland. And I come there often for meetings and would love to meet with you and chat and maybe even talk to you about your business because I do small business mentoring as well. So I work with folks who take their companies from inception to making it something. And I also have a son who's about to start at University of Maryland, so I'll be there even more. Please send me an email and call, and I'll be there in a couple weeks. Maybe we can connect, and I can talk to you a little bit more about your journey.
Be didn't
Uh,
pass it and send her your information out of the chat. She'll call you soon.
and this is the network because Teresa, who's on the call, she and I worked together as two Black women in corporate. And I saw Terry and I was like, no, they ain't doing you right. We need to work together. And we built a friendship almost 10 years now, right, Terry? And I sent her the note, join us today. I think you might enjoy this. So look at this. Look at God showing up. Hey, Morgan.
Ways. Always. Well, we have a program called Queens Reaching Queens. We've had about 5 unsuccessful launches, meaning that no Black women have signed up. Or maybe 1 to 2 have signed up to become mentors. But I have over 500 girls who want mentors. This does not have to be something where it's in person. A lot of them would prefer in person because they're trying to escape whatever environments. And again, like Miss Helen was saying, like just being able to see something different, just to be able to see the girls' eyes light up when they saw Alien, saw New York. I've been back and forth to New York a million times. It seemed simple. We took the bus, right? But it was such a big deal for them to be able to get dressed up and go to those things. So if you want a mentee, I got them. What age? 12, 14, 18, 22. I got them. One graduating from Temple University on her way to grad school in Tennessee. I got one graduating from Virginia State University in May with a degree in agriculture that is looking for mentorship and things.
Oh,
We
wow. We
got
got
that.
a lady on with farming. Definitely put me in touch with her. Follow up with me on that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
one. Yeah.
Listen, we had, and the other thing is, we were in my first formation. Before I like had structure, honestly, I just invited all the Black women I knew that did amazing things or random things or jobs. My cousin that drove a train, my cousin that drove that had a CDL company, doctors. The girls will tell you they met my gynecologist, they met my dentist, they've met every Black woman I have in service to me somehow. That has come in and just giving the girls a different view. You never know what you're interested in. You never know what you can be or even dream to be until you see it. It is the truth. Like some things, yes, can just come to your mind in fantasy, but honest goals and dreams, you have to be able to see somebody see it. Even if they didn't do it exactly, you have to be able to see them survive adversity. And that is, so important. And sharing not just the best practices, but sharing the things that pissed you off too, so they can be ahead of the game for that. My girls know about everything that I went through at Planned Parenthood because I wanted them to know when love has left the table, you got a Deuce too. They know everything that's going on with stuff at Howard because, again, I need them to know every business that does not support us, all the brands that I send emails and things asking for samples for things for the gift bags. When they tell me no, I share with my girls because I need my Black young girls to be conscious consumers because they control $3 trillion in the industry of beauty, care products, all those things. They are the trendsetters. So we are reclaiming that power in only showing love back to people who show love to us and without compromise, without a caveat, without having us call ourselves something different. If you can't say you love the Black girl tribe, if you can't say you stand for Black girls, then don't come around.
Very good. All right, I know you say you have, I'm gonna take everybody off spotlight and bring us on. I have to, excuse me, I have to thank you again for sharing your time and the young ladies, you young ladies have been, you were the icing on the cake. It was just a pleasure to hear from you. And you're so mature. I mean, IJ, you are a freshman?
Yes.
Yes. Do
She's
you know
being
how
very
well spoken?
humble.
Do you know how well spoken you are for a freshman? You show up
No.
so, oh yeah, you show up very mature, very confident,
And
and it's
not
a beautiful,
shy.
yeah. So don't ever, and you are a freshman. Don't ever second guess yourself
Thank
about who
you.
you are. And yeah, very impressive, young ladies, both of you. So
Thank you.
on that note, Gabby, thank you again. We're going to close out just saying that when Black women gather, amazing things happen.
Amazing things happen.
And this has been another amazing Sunday. And we look forward, ladies, we're going to do what we can to help Gabby. And we can share this link with whoever, male, female, Black, white, whatever. Just ask them to drop some money in for Black girls trying to be magical in the next round of life. So on that note, I'm going to stop recording and thank everybody for coming. Miss Bay, you must not be here because you haven't said a word. Thank you, Gabby. I know you have a meeting.